with Mike and his Drive the Globe machine, and he's here to talk to you about his machine. And here's the tour.
All right, so I have been on the road now for 2 years, full-time, on my mission to go and drive around the world, to be honest, but COVID hit. So unfortunately, I've been stuck in the United States and Mexico, and about a year ago, I built this truck to replace a Mercedes Unimog trailer that I was out in before. So let's go take a look around outside. So this actually is a 1994 Storton Stevenson. It's a U.S. Army truck that I built. It was a communications vehicle before, so really all I had to do was build the interior of the box, redo the interior of the cab, and put some underbody boxes on and whatnot for storage, for camping and everything else. The key to this truck is that I have a motorcycle on the back. So oftentimes I will park it in a camp for an extended period of time and go out and exploring on, this is a 2021 KTM 390 adventure bike. And then up on top here, I'm a big cyclist. I try to actually, my goal is to ride more miles on the bike than I drive in the truck. And I think year to date, I'm like 9,000 miles riding and like 14,000 driving. So I'm a little behind, but these are my cycles. My Hobie kayak is up there on the roof. A couple interesting things about a military truck, and I recommend getting one, is that it comes with all sorts of neat little tools. So it's got central tire inflation, which is push button in the cab. So you can switch from sand to road to mud. Really cool. The military thinks of everything. So you can check your fluids, you can check, fill oil and transmission fluid here. And even this, it's kind of interesting. The dipstick to check transmission here is
wow.
Really long. So I kind of built this like a regular RV. I've got shore power connections. I've actually have cable internet connection. I've got water for you know, city water hookup. And then this is my water tank fill here on the outside. I have an 85 gallon fresh water. I've got about 22 gallons of gray water, and I have a cassette toilet on board that fits about 7.5, 8 gallons. So I installed these Max Air vents. So there's one in the shower, there's one in the bathroom, and there is one that exhausts my instant hot water heater.
You got an awning.
Yep, Dometic awnings. I put awnings on both sides, which is a little weird, but I mostly use them. I don't retract them out that far, and I mostly use them just to block the sun on the windows, and it makes a big difference for temperature inside. We can go on the roof.
Oh yeah.
Go on the roof. Up the ladder.
Go up the ladder.
Here we go.
Alright. That's cool.
So up here on the roof of the truck, I have 12 100-watt Renogy solar panels that feed 900 amp hours of Battleborn lithium batteries. So there's 9 individual batteries on board. That's what powers the Habitat. I also have on the roof the WeBoost for cellular boosting, and now I have the Starlink satellite internet, which has been fantastic. And then in the front, those alu boxes, those fit all my mostly cycling gear, helmets and kits and all that kind of stuff. This down here is a solo stove. And then I have 3 20-pound propane tanks. I do have a Honda generator on board, which I've honestly never used because I have just been running on solar for the last 8-9 months. And I could plug in, obviously, the shore power, but I also can charge the batteries from the truck driving as well. And then I got my deck, so you can put 2 chairs up here.
Ooh, it's the best part.
Yeah, this is like sunset and sunrise deck. You can sit here with chairs and have cheese and crackers. And
Perfect view.
Yep. Not too exciting, but...
This is gonna be fun. Oh, I'm just gonna jump. Awesome.
You probably you could sit in the driver's seat because you get a better view.
Ooh. Woo! I'm in the driver's seat.
There you go. When you get these things from the military, it's loud, it's metal, and it's the seats are like sitting on rocks. So I completely redid the cab. I spent a lot of time on that. put in all sorts of fabric on any kind of metal surface. I put headliner in with like 4 inches of foam. I actually installed air conditioning from a later model truck. And then, you know, this is probably the first truck I've ever owned that I can actually drive down the road and listen to the radio. So I put a radio in, got my iPad here for looking up stuff really when I'm traveling. My Garmin InReach is what tracks me, puts the tracker on the website. It's also SOS and backup navigation for my motorcycle. And then I have my Garmin Overlander is what I use for GPS. And then behind us is the second fridge. And I mostly just keep beverages in here, water, iced tea, beer, stuff like that. And I have a second one inside the Habitat. And I got my one wheel back here.
Ooh, gotta have the one wheel.
Back up. This is the rear view camera.
Rear view camera.
Just maybe turn it on. The fabric and everything on all this covering stuff came from Amazon. It's like $30 a yard or something. It's not expensive. So. World of difference for comfort inside the cab. The most expensive part of my entire build is definitely the Shieldmon seats. They're heated, they've got dual armrests, they've got lumbar support. So if you're going to do any kind of road warrior on the road, these seats are where it's at.
It is pretty comfy.
So this is a 3000 watt inverter that I have in the cab. I figured I'd put that in just in case I want to plug in, like if I vacuum out the cab or whatever, I don't have to run the cable from the back of the truck.
Absolutely no access from the cab to the back.
No, people ask me that actually. They ask about the security and whatnot. In all my travels, like through Africa and everywhere, I've never really had a security issue that I felt like, and I did think about it in this truck, and people have done it before, a crawl through, but it would take up a ton of space inside my kitchen. I decided that it wasn't worth it. So this is inside my house. Which now I've been living in for a year inside. The former truck is actually right here. That's my old Mercedes Unimog, and that's the trailer I lived in for a year before this. And I found that just the struggle with pulling something and having to get gear out of the truck and then bring it back to the trailer wasn't worth it. So I really wanted my priorities in this build, and I did the build in a little over 2 months and moved into it. It took another couple months to finish it, so it's about a 4-month build. And the reason is because I had sold that other truck and basically I had nowhere else to stay. So I built this in a friend's backyard actually. And my priorities were have the kitchen on board, which I did not have in the trailer, a bed that I didn't have to make or set up or fold up, and a full-size shower. So that was kind of my big ticket items, if you will. So kitchen, I have a dual zone Dometic refrigerator freezer here. It's got, you know, both sides, 2 zone. So that is in addition to the fridge that's in the cab. I went with a two bowl sink, ceramic sink. By the way, everything in here, I take some flack for it, is IKEA, because I really wanted to do this affordable and show that it could be done. And I have been bouncing around the back roads of Utah, out in the desert, and down in Baja, and everything's held up just fine. So kudos to IKEA for that. But I have a Dometic 3-burner stove, and then underneath is the oven. And it's actually a big enough oven that you can actually really make something in it. And then I have the vent overhead to exhaust, and then above that is the microwave, which I use a fair amount sometimes. And then cabinets are like storage. This is all my plates and silverware and everything is in there. And the cabinets, by the way, are like super strong magnets. And then I kind of put bungees just to make sure that stuff doesn't shift. But that's kind of that. And then underneath, you know, you got more cabinets down below. Like I said, everything's here at IKEA. This cabinet opens up. This is the instant hot water heater. So rather than having a tank where it uses energy to keep water warm all the time, as soon as I, turn on that, clicks on, and there you go, you've got hot water. On the sink here, this is a Akuva filtration system. So it's got 2 filters. It's an LED UV light. So when it turns on, you see it turn blue here. That means it's working. And in theory, you can take water out of a swamp in Africa. I haven't tried that yet, but we'll see. And even the lamp. Call it the Death Star. It opens up. And that's also IKEA. So I don't use this very often, but if I had company over here, or sometimes I work on the computer, the laptop on it, this folds up. It's also an IKEA piece that I basically cut the other side off of the table, and then I install all the hardware to keep it from not shifting in transit. And then trying to use every square inch of space, because this is about 135 square feet total. I went with like little stools, but they open up and they can keep stuff inside.
Double as storage.
Double as storage, that's right. Everything, by the way, in here is attached, so nothing moves around in transit. And then this is a fold down. I use, when I'm editing video, I usually like to use a big screen, so this just comes down, and I have a full-size iMac on board of things I never use. I'm not really sure I've ever turned the TV on, because my TV is like outside the window. That's right, look at this river here. You don't need that. One of the things I have in this build that I didn't have in prior builds, I have air conditioning, but I opted for the $150 window unit from Lowe's, basically. And people say, it's not as rugged. You should get a split, a split unit that's, whatever, 5,000 bucks. I mean, I can break this off a lot of times and still be saving money, so it works great. I have a weather station here. This is my 100 amp MPPT charge controller for all the solar. And right now we're almost full, and I've got, 300 watts of solar coming in right now. This is the DC to DC charger when I run the truck. I put it on a switch, so I don't have to run it as soon as the truck starts up. This is the GoPower control unit for the inverter converter, which produces all my AC current, which like Starlink runs off of now. So I need AC. This is how I got into overlanding right here. This is my original 1965 Series 2A Land Rover. That's me in the middle of the Sahara Desert going across. Took that about 8,000 miles across Africa. And that's how I got into the whole outdoor stuff, rooftop tent and everything. So I've done the rooftop tent, I've done the van, I've been the back of the dang Jeeps and whatnot.
When did you start doing like all that?
So this trip was in 2001 is when we did that. But so I've been doing like different overlanding and different, van life kind of stuff, nomad life for a while. First time 2 years ago, it's actually 2 years and 4 days from now that I've been on the road. So, I just kind of decided it's now time to put it all together, and all the different continents I've been to, I want to do it in one shot. A lot of people ask about this.
So much character.
This is exact same ceiling that I use, same floor, same ceiling that I use in the trailer.
You liked it that much?
Yep, I didn't change. That's about the only thing that did not change. But
yeah, and it's just 10 like a.
That's it's like vinyl. It's like vinyl pieces. It's easy to cut. And you can just glue it. I just glued it onto the ceiling.
Yeah, it looks like 10.
Yeah.
But it's really lightweight.
This truck doesn't carry that much. Honestly, the truck originally weighed like, I think 19,000 pounds empty. And it weighs 22,000 pounds fully loaded right now. But the military, when they had their equipment in here, probably weighed more than it does for my build.
Oh.
You can individually, like they're all on switches here, but they're also touch, and then if you hold it down, they dim already.
That's really cool.
Same thing underneath.
I like that. And you can have just one light on, and that's gonna be enough.
Sometimes at nighttime, I'll just leave the over cabinet light and the Death Star over here on because it kind of glows. And that's perfect.
That's a nice glow. Butcher block countertops.
They're fake. IKEA.
Okay.
They look like butcher block, but they're not.
IKEA butcher block.
Yeah.
So, not real, so it's lightweight, but it looks very real.
Yeah, and I figured if it gets beat up or whatever, it's easy enough to switch out and replace.
Yeah.
Same thing with the cabinets, like you could just reface, just change the doors or whatever if you get tired of the colors or whatever.
Very smart, love it.
Yeah, and then cooking. I do most of my cooking outside on the Tumbo Toscado, but like, you know, I have the toaster, I have, you know, all the stuff inside, and then these things I found, they're a little cute, they're cool. These little dashes. They use very little power, and for one person, I can make little grilled cheeses. It's like a little, it's like a little griddle, and I actually have 3 of them. I have a flat, a waffle one, and and like a rigid one.
It's perfect for one person.
One thing I will mention, you can notice like the tile. All this is stick-on, paste-on tile. I used everything in here. I didn't want to use any kind of really wood-based materials, so it's all. This is all plastic.
Lightweight.
Lightweight, doesn't warp. You know, change of humidity and whatnot. You don't have to worry about any of that. The windows are actually kind of cool. They open out, and so even if it's pouring rain, water doesn't come in. These are courtesy of the military, though. I didn't have to do the windows. So this was a communication box. I added the 5 feet for the bump out for the bed, but the rest of it was here already. In fact, I deleted 2 windows on that side and 1 on this side, so it used to have 3 on each side. These are the remote controls for the awnings.
Okay.
Max Air remote control there. And then our little water closet opens up. I wanted to keep the bathroom kind of separate from the shower. So this opens up, and inside here, hard to film, is the cassette toilet and the vanity, which is all, you know, storage for bathroom stuff. And then back here, I wanted a real shower with a glass door and big enough. And it's a 36 by 36 inch shower pan. So it's like being home, rain head, love it. Like that's a priority for me. On the other side, this is actually an IKEA cabinet as well. This is my wardrobe with, you know, it's got drawers, shoe storage, and hanging up on top. I actually had to not follow the IKEA directions and build it in place because I couldn't build it and flip it up because it wouldn't fit, because it's actually like the height of the truck. And then this back section is what I added. And then I added the Arctic Tern windows, the Max Air vent and everything, but I built this. I wanted a real bed that I did not have to ever set up. And this is a real mattress. I may be overkill on them. I think it's like 15 inches thick, but it's comfortable. Downside, I will tell you, the most frustrating thing about van life for me is making the bed. Like trying to get if you do laundry and putting the stuff back on with walls going all the way around, impossible. And then underneath this opens up, this is storage, and mostly, you know, it's dirty laundry and my vacuum cleaner and whatnot are under there.
How can people follow you on your journey, social media?
So you can follow me at drivetheglobe.com or on any of the social medias at drivetheglobe. TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of them.
All of them. Well, thank you for doing the tour. It's been fun.
Well, thank you guys for watching, and look forward to traveling together sometime. Radio. Don't want to get YouTube violations. I can't tell you how many people say I sound like Vince Vaughn. Like again,
That's who it is. Oh my
constantly get every feedback on every video.
That's
it's like, did you guys hire a Vince Vaughn to do voiceover? That's the cocktail hour.
Oh yeah, we gotta get going.
We're a little behind schedule.